And now, welcome to the Great Cigar and Pipe Show. Presented by Hiram Solomon Cigars, the Oliva Cigar family, and the J.C. Newman Cigar Company. Coming to you live from the Corona Cigar Company studios.
Hey. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, it's the Great Cigar and Pipe Show, and here we are after a fantastic weekend we spent all together in Florida. We're all back home, and we have an exciting guest this evening and a friend, and can't wait to have him on.
We're still in Florida, so, I mean, there's that.
Well, yeah, I left Florida.
We've never left home.
Well, I have returned home, unfortunately. But It is what it is. What's up, guys? I'm Ronnie Pecorini. Down below, we got Kyle Jesso.
Up above, down below.
Well, you're always going to be below me, guys. What can I tell you?
Easy. Why is you saying Kyle to below you? Wow. I mean, this is not the way we start the show.
The fuck?
Kyle,
well,
kneel down.
No. Rodney, go get your shine box.
Hey. And over there, the Bopsy twins. Retired Bob is hanging out over there.
Folks? Welcome back once again.
Welcome back.
And the one, the only, the Chooch Master himself, Cousin Frank.
Welcome back, Cotter.
Oh,
you remember those days? I mean, welcome back,
Mr. Carter.
What's up, everybody? Thanks a lot for joining us.
His first acting gig. Yeah. See, everybody starts somewhere.
We don't know when Bob started. All I know is so many years ago.
1852.
So very many years ago.
Yes.
I remember I had a uniform of some sort.
You wore a uniform?
Some sort. Yeah.
We got a lot of people jumping on. Tony is on. Brian Joyner, Eduardo, Big Fellas Mobile Cigar Lounge. Eduardo over from Philly. How you doing, guys? Everybody? Steve, Bruce, Billy. We got a great crowd. Everybody, please hit the share button. Let's get our guest out there to everybody you know.
And Ronnie, I
want everybody from Philly. Geno's or Pat's?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know you're a Pat guy, right?
I like Pat's. Yeah, you like Pat's too, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been to Philly once to see the Liberty Bell. That's about it. I was a kid.
You didn't get cheesesteaks?
No.
It was too young.
We went into the bus, and out of the bus we went. We brought my own lunch bags. I brought my own lunch pail at the time. You know, the little metal.
Yeah,
I think I had a Star Trek one. I had a Star Trek lunch pail.
Was it a yellow bus, Frank? Was it a yellow bus?
It was the shortest yellow bus you could get on, and that's the one they put me on. It really was. It really was.
Wow. Nice.
You know what?
Nice.
I want Ronnie to introduce our guest when it's time to introduce him, because I want him to pronounce Ivan's last name.
There you go.
Ivan the Great. It's Ivan the Great. That's all I'm going to say. It's Ivan the Great. Why you got to hurt me like that? Why you got to hurt me like that?
Well, because that's the fun part of this. If we can't make fun of ourselves, or especially Ronnie, then why do this thing?
And we do
make fun of
We do.
Yeah,
we do.
It's nonstop. Bob, I think you go to bed thinking about how to make fun of me. I mean, you've been
do.
doing
I
it.
write them down on the pad.
You've been doing it for 65 years. How am I going to just
review it first in the morning? You think this one will work on Ronnie tonight?
Hey, by the way, Billy from Long Island says Tony Luke's in Philly. I don't know Tony Luke's.
I don't know that one.
Anybody know Tony Luke's besides Billy? Maybe Eduardo does. There you go.
We got
What's
Clay.
up, Clay?
The food truck.
It's a food truck.
Oh, it's a food truck. Is that what it is? Billy.
Billy from Long Island.
There you go, everybody.
No, I'm looking forward to talking to Ivan. It's always a pleasure to have him. He's a wealth of knowledge in the industry. He really is.
Oh yeah, we're been around a long time.
You know, we're going to be talking about some very interesting processes that they do over at Plasencia that a lot of folks don't. So we're going to be discussing that once we come back.
They might be the only one, actually.
You know what? You don't know. Bob can't make that assumption because Bob knows.
We don't know. We don't know. Listen carefully, Frank.
But yeah. So before we go to Ivan, I wanted to play something for the folks so that they can get a little pumped up. I want to see them starting to, take out their. Don't pull out something else, but make sure you take out your Plasencia cigar.
Wow,
you don't want to.
Something happened, guys.
Tonight we're smoking. Bob and I were smoking the Alma Fuega, Alma del Fuego. Fuego. I know. I got a little confused because they've got a lot of Almas in their line. So, and when you get to be my age, memory is an issue.
Doesn't serve you well.
It doesn't serve me well. No.
Well, then you better wait for a few more years. You're going to be in serious trouble there, buddy. I hate to say that.
But check this out, folks.
Since 1865, the Plasencia family has perfected the art of tobacco. It all began in Cuba, and today the tradition continues in the sun-kissed soils of Central America. Here begins the journey from our soul to your most ambitious senses. Plasencia Cigars, perfected for more than 150 years. Yours to enjoy now.
All righty.
Wow. Wait.
Oh, and we lost Ronnie.
He didn't pay his internet bill.
He didn't pay his internet bill. There he is. He's back. That's what happens when you.
Well, he's stealing the Wi-Fi from the neighbor.
It's good. He has no audio.
Wow.
We'll just bring Ivan on. You know, I like replacing Ronnie with Ivan.
That's a good idea.
That's a good way.
Unbelievable. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No.
How could I replace a good-looking guy like Ronnie? That could never happen.
Nothing. No way. But it's you and me together. If I had hair, I'd be right with you, man. I tell you, it's good stuff.
Boy, that intro video was just beautiful, wasn't it?
Oh my God, beautifully produced. It really tells the story, and it makes you want to be there and share in that experience as well.
150 years. I mean, that is some history.
Yeah.
Second oldest second oldest tobacco manufacturer in the world. Cuba's number one. We're number two. 1865.
Wow.
Yeah, and now we're the largest grower of cigar tobacco in the world. It just it's an incredible story, and if I could give you guys a brief history.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Plasencia family was growing tobacco in Cuba. And then Fidel Castro came in and decided that he was going to make this a communist country and take over all the farms and give them to the government. And Master Plasencia had no choice but to leave. He and the family went to Spain for a little while and discovered that growing tobacco in that region was just was not going to cut it. So they all moved to Nicaragua and started an incredible facility down there. So you want to talk about how America loves a comeback story. They grew an incredible farm down in Nicaragua, and then the Sandinistas came in and did the same thing the Cubans did.
Sure.
They took they took all the farmland and they said, hey, this is now ours. It's no longer yours. So, the Plasencias being passionate about tobacco, they did the only thing they could, and they drove across the border to Honduras and started an incredible Honduran tobacco facility there. What ended up happening, as we all know, following history, the Sandinistas were finally thrown out. Right. But the new government wasn't exactly as friendly as the previous government. So they said, you can't have all your land back. You can only have 30% of your land back. Oh, and by the way, the 30% we're giving back to you is not going to be the original land you guys own.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So the Plasencias took two major setbacks that anybody else would have just thrown up their hands and quit. But, the family, being as passionate as they are about the tobacco industry and the cigar industry, really took lemons and turned them into lemonades. And today they're the largest company in the world that produces tobacco, making our own line as of 7 years ago, to making cigars for not only making cigars, but making boxes and also selling tobacco to most of the tobacco industry.
Right.
So just it's an incredible family, and it's an incredible story. And stories like these, I'm glad I'm able to tell them on a podcast like this. By the way, congratulations on your success, guys. This has really become a big deal. I remember maybe 5 years ago, driving up to Fox Valley to a radio station up there, and we all did this in person.
Fox Lake.
Fox Lake. Yeah.
Call it the Valley because the valley where the sun didn't shine.
Is another spot.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Fox Lake. That was a lot of fun, but it's incredible to see how far you guys have come. Congratulations for all the.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. It seems like 6.5 short years ago, but here we are still.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you for coming, by the way.
No, absolutely. It's my pleasure. Anybody who wants to talk about cigars or tobacco, I'm in.
Here we go. Exactly.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to do tonight, talking about cigars and tobacco. But that's fantastic.
Just going back for a second, the land that they were given, first of all, why were they not given their original land, if there's even an explanation for that? But what happened then? They moved to another area. And
so what they did was basically the government plotted out 30 acres of land from them, and they had to make a go out of it with what the government gave them. And so as to why the government didn't give them back their original land and only 30%, that's a story for Nestor Sr. I'm not exactly sure. I was just given the cliff notes on it, but like I said, they take what they were they took what they were given and just created something incomparable within the industry. So
they certainly did.
Yeah, when they were in Honduras, so they obviously took the seed with them yet again, right? So now we're keeping seed and basically running seed across to Honduras, and then going back. So it's amazing the foresight to be able to do that and be able to do it in a way
that's a pretty strong seed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's not like
a lot of trips.
It's not like Bob's seed. I'm not going to say what that's like. It's a different type of seed problem. But
oh man.
Well, he left the door open for me. What am I?
He did.
Let's quit picking on Bob.
Well, Ronnie, I took enough shots at Ronnie. Now it's time for Bob. Soon I will get his turn.
You know what? Wait till you come around.
But tell us a little bit about. I know that, like Bob was saying, they're doing before Ivan came on. You guys are doing things in the industry that a lot of people just don't do. So tell me a little bit about that.
So, you know, this is a situation where Nestor is not keeping these things secret. He's invited other cigar manufacturers to come out and witness what he's doing. You know, it's just not that unfortunately, for a lot of other cigar manufacturers, it's just not that cost effective, you know? So, you know, a lot of people are more concerned with production, as you know, as far as getting cigars out on the market. And sometimes quality is taking a back seat. So, you know, what we're looking at here is, if we go back to the original, to the third pick I sent you, what we're doing on, so they're right there on the left, we're basically composting everything that we can within all of our farms, you know, our offices, our rolling rooms, and we're composting every single thing that we can. And what we're doing is, in these concrete pits on the right here, what we're doing is, we're filling all the compost in here, and then we're adding about 50,000 worms into each one of these pits. Okay, so what's going on is the worms are eating up all the compost. And as my father-in-law, he used to work for the water reclamation district here in Chicago, used to say, their shit is our bread and butter.
Right.
And so,
That's great.
yeah. So what's naturally occurring is an organic, natural fertilizer that's going out into our fields. So, you know, doing this is, when I mentioned cost effective, there's about 30 employees who are in charge of this.
Wow.
And they are.
Oh, we lost Ivan.
Yeah.
He froze up.
I think the wife is trying to watch Netflix or something on
She's
the
trying to
same
stream.
channel, so.
Yeah, she's trying to stream a couple of different movies.
Or he's not supposed to say what he's going to say.
Yes.
Oh yeah. He's been taken out. Hey, you can't say that on.
He's
Can't say
giving
that.
away the secrets.
He's giving away trade secrets. But yeah, I mean, thinking about what is this? I don't want that coming up. I have no idea what beeped me.
Well, fortunately, as you said, yeah, it's not economical for a lot
Right.
of other companies, but
Yeah.
Plasencia is.
But there he's back.
They're in a good spot. They can afford
Sorry
to do
about that,
something
gentlemen.
like this, you know.
Ivan
No
is back.
problem.
Well,
You're back. That's all that matters.
I think at the end of the day, Nestor Senior and Nestor Andreas, his son, who is the CEO of our company, he wants to put out a quality cigar. He wants to put out quality product. And, you know, if he knew a bunch of cigars were out there, he'd stop line production immediately until they figured out, you know, where the problem was. So,
Right.
And it's great to work for a company that really considers quality more than quantity. As far as some companies just want to put cigars on the market as quickly as possible, and sometimes quality kind of goes out the window. So you know,
Now, when you're
is known for quality. I mean,
always
you guys are known
absolutely.
for making a
yeah.
fantastic cigar.
right,
Plain and simple.
but it's all the tobacco that they're producing.
Well,
I mean, you're
exactly.
supplying tobacco to
For other
everyone,
people.
basically for everyone.
Yeah.
Let's say what it is that they are.
yeah, guys. I mean, there's a gas station cigar that everybody has heard of called Swisher Sweet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, like it's really. I mean, you know, I'm not going to say anything negative about them because they do fulfill a need, but it's not something that us as cigar aficionados would ever smoke, probably not even in a pinch. But we do supply them with about 35% of their tobacco. So you can imagine.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
we do. Yeah. So yeah, that's Connecticut broadlead from Honduras.
So
yeah.
why did they
So you can,
destroy it so much?
Well, because they can.
Wow.
You know,
it goes into the whole White Owls.
Wow, yeah.
you know, honestly, guys, they're fulfilling a need within the market. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Exactly.
obviously that's not something that we would smoke and enjoy, but there are people out there that do smoke and enjoy it. So I always say that eventually those people will graduate to, you know, instead of machine made premium, you know, handmade, hand rolled cigars.
We would hope so anyway.
Yeah, no. I think
Yeah, we definitely hope so. Yeah.
So when the compost is being, how long does it take once you put the worms in and you have all of the, now it's all tobacco scrap, we'll call it, from the veining when you're deveining and any of the small little things like.
Absolutely. It's tobacco or just any other. So another thing that 99% of the tobacco companies do out there is, in order to put nutrients back in the soil, they do crop rotation, and when they're not growing tobacco in one field, they'll be growing things like corn and soybeans and sorghum.
Right. Yeah.
So they're putting nutrients back in the soil. Now, when that stuff, they don't want that stuff to go to waste. So that also goes into the composting area.
Oh, okay. So that all of that goes in. Now, sunflowers as well, because I heard sunflowers are they keep a lot of the pests away because they'll kind of.
So what happens is when you're in the fields in Nicaragua or Honduras or Dominican Republic, you'll see sunflowers on the very edges of all the rows of all the tobacco crop. You'll see, and what they do is the bugs prefer the sunflowers than they do tobacco. So that's just another way for them to pull the bugs away from the tobacco and have them focus on the sunflowers. Yeah. And of course that stuff does end up getting composted. Yes.
Right. Yeah. That's fantastic. I mean, so there's quite a bit of manpower to just, and like you said, 30 people just in charge of composting
of worms,
and moving compost heaps. I mean, that's a lot of compost that you're creating.
It's a lot of work, but it's reflected in the taste of our cigars. And then the workers that we have for us, that's reflected in the quality, because it's pretty rare that we have bad construction, So if I could just talk about Plasencia as a company, the things that we're doing in Nicaragua and Honduras are really integral into making the lives of our workers better. So when you're an employee, when you're a roller, or you're working in the bunching room, or you're separating tobacco, we have a doctor and a nurse on staff at all times. So if you're not feeling well, you can slip away and go see a doctor, go see a nurse. We also have daycare facilities. So if any mom out there, needs to work and has a newborn, we have daycare facilities where, you can bring your child with you to work, and they'll be, in a separate area, and, you can come visit them on your lunch break, or if you have an afternoon or morning break, you can go visit your child, And then for the children, yeah, absolutely. It just gives new mothers, new fathers a little bit more security that their child is being, taken care of. So, and then when the child is old enough to start grade school, we opened up a grade school across the street from the manufacturing facility, from the rolling rooms. And so when you come to work, you can just drop off your son or daughter, give them a kiss, and just drop them off at the daycare center, and they're left there until you get off work, where you can come pick them up.
Now, when do you bring them into the factory to start rolling?
When come into the factory.
That's funny. That is funny, and there are great jokes about that, but it's just a way for our employees to know that their child is being taken care of. They're protected and they're being educated.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. That is
and it gives people an opportunity to actually have a job. Because if you guys stay home with your kids, what are you going to do?
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And the Plasencia is also goes so far as to, they have many school buses. So if you're we all know that Esteli is the main town in Nicaragua that produces all the tobacco. Yep. If you're living out in the rural areas of Esteli, we have school buses that go out there and pick them up and then drop them off at the end of the day. So which is it's a great thing, because all your work cares are taken care of. All your concerns about getting to work, getting home from work, having children, all those things are taken care of, which makes Plasencia Cigars one of the better companies to work for in Esteli, as well as Honduras. It's Dan Lee and the Honduran kind of Esteli. So we're doing great things for the people out there. And Nestor and the family actually built a Catholic church there for all the town goers to go and celebrate Mass. And so it's actually, they're really giving back to the community, which makes it a great company to work for, knowing that someone's looking out for the little person there.
Yeah.
And it creates a sense of loyalty too. People,
absolutely. Absolutely.
You respect people, basically.
Absolutely, Bob. Unfortunately, there's a ton of competition in Esteli. So if you're working for the ABC Cigar Company, and you're in a bad mood, your boss is in a bad mood, and one day you're like, screw this, I'm not working here anymore. You just get up and leave. You know, you could walk across the street to another company and
Right.
with your years of experience, you know, get a job the next day.
Is there around 50 companies right now in Esteli, or is there more, Ivan?
I heard 63.
Oh, went up.
But there's always companies coming and there's always
going.
companies folding, you know. So
Right.
so some of the smaller guys, you know, but yeah. So it just makes competition's tough. But thankfully, we have a really low turnover in our company, and it is a company that people do want to work for. So, but you know, our turnover is, I think it's like 2%. So we're really happy.
When you're treating your people right, why would you leave? You know,
exactly.
Now your role models out there. A lot of things that you've done, a lot of other companies are picking up on, and they've seen that, and they understand that. Like Bob said, you treat your people correctly, they're going to get, you know, they're going to be loyal to you, and they're going to stay. And this is, you know, grandfathers and fathers, and you know, their children, and then, you know, it's a complete cycle over and over and over again. And it makes everybody, you know, family, and they become loyal to you, and it just keeps going on.
Absolutely. I mean, like the narrative is we promote from within. So you might have started, you know, when you're 16 or 18 years old with a broom, just sweeping up tobacco. And now you might be the head of production. And usually that's how it happens. So like a lot of the employees have been with Plasencia for generations. Families have been with them for generations. And as hard as you want to work, there's a place for you to be promoted. So
wow. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Amazing. Yeah, just to be able to
that's the way to do it.
Going back a little bit earlier, Ivan, Chris Eden wanted to know. It's a great question because I really don't know about insects and all. But is there a certain type of worm in particular that you guys use for that compost? Or
guys, I'm a salesman.
Chris,
you got no answer. Forget about it. I tried for you, buddy.
Chris, I apologize. I do not know what type of worm they're using. I do know that if I were to go fishing, I would grab a handful of these, put them in my pocket, and go fishing. But I apologize, Chris.
Hey, you can catch tobacco trout with that.
Exactly.
There you go. That's great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent stuff.
So how many years ago, because a lot of people don't know, that Plasencia started their own cigar line? Because
2017.
Right. So it's fairly new. And when you look at it in your 150 years, you're looking at only 8 years ago. What was the impetus to actually go out and say, you know what, let's create our own cigar line at this point?
Put our name on.
Yeah, put our name on.
Yeah, the family had been working with so many other cigar companies, so many other manufacturers for so long, creating cigars for other people and also selling people tobacco. Eventually, they just wanted to put their own name on a cigar. I mean, Plasencia is one of the most respected names in the industries, but customers who are out there have no clue who they are. Of course, you know, all of us being in the cigar industry, we always knew who they were, but they were just kind of like hidden in the shadows. The family wanted to put their own name on a quality product, and that's exactly what they've done. And, you know, they've had such a meteoric rise in the industry over the last 7 years. It's just incredible. I talked to stalwarts within the industry, and they're just amazed. They're just amazed at how quickly the company has taken off. So
right. And I think a lot of that has to do with the quality of tobacco that you have access to because you've been growing it for so long. And you have like what I'll call your special tobacco. And I think you keep that special tobacco close.
Yeah, that's the one they don't sell to anybody else.
Right.
And that's correct.
Cigars are so flavorful. They're so well aged, they're sought after. Yes, they're going to be a little bit more pricey, but you're going to get exactly what you want as a cigar aficionado. You want something special when you're smoking, and when you grab a Plasencia, you know you're going to get that in each and every part of your line. So I have a bunch of images from your website. So let's go over to the different lines. Let's go here. We'll start we'll start here.
Mhm.
So, excellent, gentlemen. So this is something I kind of want to talk about as well. So this is the Plasencia Cosecha 151. So cosecha is Spanish for harvest or crop. And so this 151 represents their 151st harvest. And so what that means is there's one harvest a year. And what's going on is every year we, obviously this we come up with a harvest. This tobacco comes from the 151st harvest. So what's interesting about what our company did was we used to have a cigar called the Cosecha 146, and it was one of the first cigars we came out with. It's no longer available to the general public unless there's a couple shops that still have some left over. But we ran out of the tobacco, and you know what? Rather than like trying to do something tricky or cheap, like we just deleted the line. We don't have any more tobacco.
If you can't replicate it, that's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
you do have.
You don't want to try to fool people. It's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah, you have the 151, and then you have also the 149.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we have this is obviously, going back on what I previously said, this comes from our 149th harvest. And what the Plasencias do is they test every single harvest, and when it comes time, if they fall in love with the tobacco, they put it aside for us and us only. Yeah. Right. So the 149th harvest was incredible. The 151st harvest was incredible. The 146th, that harvest was incredible. Unfortunately, it's gone. But I'd like to see more cigar companies deleting cigars when they run out of tobacco, because it just doesn't taste the same anymore. No,
you're right. And that's,
people know it.
And people do know that. You get that sense. It's like, okay, it's not the same.
It's different. Something different.
And people want to gravitate to the cigar that they had previously, and then it's a different experience. So and it's harder for even the blenders to be able to reproduce that, because now you're kind of grasping at straws in a way.
Get close, but it's still never going to be the same, because that tobacco is just non-existent anymore. Plain and simple.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like I said, I'd like to see more manufacturers try to do that. Try to say, hey, listen, we no longer have the tobacco for this. Rather than putting the same label on tobacco that's changed, and now you have a complete. I mean, we all can say we smoked cigars 10 years ago that aren't the same as they are today.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
The tobacco has changed, So we don't need to name names, but we all know it. So
it's gotten better.
Well, I think
the science and everything else. I think tobacco now is better than it was 10 years ago.
I think it's the accessibility to certain tobaccos has gotten a little bit better, and people are aging their tobacco longer.
Yeah.
So you're able to have an experience that you may not have had, 10 years ago.
But 40 or 50 years ago is a different story, because that's a whole nother world. Yeah. Really.
We lost Ivan for a second.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey, Ivan, we got a question.
Hang on 1 second. Okay. Hang on 1 second, guys. Hey, honey, did we pay the internet bill? Okay. All right, we're good.
No, I heard her say no.
No, she said it was paid. So
all right, that's good.
Rodney didn't. Apparently,
Rodney didn't though. That's okay.
You said,
"Hey, Teresa, did we pay the internet bill?" No. Okay. Figure that. She's smoking the cigars instead of paying the bill.
What was the actual oldest company? I don't know that.
Cuba.
Yeah, the country itself.
But the country. But I'm saying, as far as a manufacturer, do you happen to know that?
It's Cuba is all. If you guys,
it's all government run. So
before that,
so like
before the takeover, what was the first cigar that they made there? It had a name. It had to have something, right? Does anyone know it?
I don't know the answer.
Cuban.
I don't know if anybody knows.
A Cuban. That's what they called it.
5-cent cigar.
Hold on. Let's ask Orlando. Orlando Perez. He's on. He always knows all these Cuban stuff.
Yeah, but in my famous words of my good friend Javier Plasencia, the owner of Casa Perfecto Cigars, but it's not the Plasencia.
So when talking about Cuban cigars, well, you have a lot of different Cuban manufacturers, like you have Partagas and you have Cohiba and Monte Cristo and
Upman,
Upman, Simon Bolivar, so. But what people don't realize, even though these are separate cigars, it's one big company, and that company is the Cuban government.
Right.
And so what we don't know is, like, you can go on to different cigar manufacturers, New World cigar manufacturers' websites and see what type of tobacco is in these cigars. They don't declare what kind of tobacco is in there.
Right.
And
if it's tobacco at all. They might,
we're gonna go
sunflower leaves in some. I've heard, or marijuana.
We're gonna go really deep inside baseball here, guys. So you guys know that a puro cigar means all the tobacco comes from one country.
Right.
There is no such thing as a Cuban puro anymore. There's so little tobacco on that island right now to meet the demands that they're importing tobacco from Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Mexico, and the Dominican Republic. They have so little tobacco on that island. They're actually having to bring tobacco from other countries there. Wow. And their rule as a government is, as long as it's made in Cuba, it's a Cuban cigar.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is they farm those soils so many times over that it is no longer good. Plain and simple, really. I mean, they're living on a legend. They're living on a legend.
Absolutely.
They're charging a lot of money because of everything out in Europe is
especially
crazy.
In Europe and in Asia.
And
I mean, these people are paying
Canada,
fortunes for a cigar.
too.
So what they did recently, gentlemen, is they used to have a really high price on Cuban cigars in Asia. And what they decided to do was, in the European markets, they were going to jack up the price to the Asian markets. So I don't know, I think this occurred over the last year or two. What they did was, if a Cuban cigar was selling for $20 in Europe and it was selling for $40 in Asia, they just jacked up the price to both of them being similar. And so what you're seeing now in Europe, and when you go to duty free in Europe or you go to cigar shops in Europe, you're seeing a lot more New World cigars, there, including our cigars.
Right.
So yeah,
and that's been and when you talk to folks in Europe, they'll tell you they like the New World better than the Cubans that they're having, especially at the price point.
I remember. I'm not going to mention the name. A good friend of ours was telling us a story. He was a rep for a company, well-known company. He went to Cuba and he had some of his cigars with him. And he was smoking it out in the plaza, and somebody was sitting behind him, and they smelled the cigar, and they were very intrigued, and they asked him, what are you smoking? And he said, well, this is a so-and-so, and gave him the cigar, and he happened to be a roller in Cuba. And he said, this is a wonderful cigar. He says, this is better than what we're doing here right now.
Yeah.
And the roller himself was shocked. He says, "This is great," So again, there's better cigars out there.
Not only just like the quality of the cigar taste, and the tobacco, but also the construction. Like, I've had friends that have given me Cuban cigars over the last 5-6 years. Like, chance of them unwrapping or just being low quality construction are, I'd say, 50%.
Very high. Yeah, very high.
At least 50%. So, but people forget, at the end of the day, it's a communist country. If you roll 400 cigars in one day and 200 of them are great and 200 of them are basically unsmokable, they don't care. It's a communist country.
Exactly.
Right.
You get a loaf of bread.
I doubt they're using draw machines.
No, they're not using anything.
Yeah,
no.
As a QC,
like I said,
the quality
they're living on a legend.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Bob.
Not the 1950s anymore. This is
Yeah.
they've had their heyday.
Even our friendly Cuban, Orlando Perez, says Cuban cigars are not the same from the old Cuba.
No.
And like you said, Ivan, it's pushed out now. They're doing a lot from Esteli and other countries. They're using everything they can because their farms hasn't been cultivated. It's the same old garbage. All the minerals are out of it. So
they only got so much property, Ronnie. That's it. And
right.
Exactly. They got monies for fertilizers and everything else that we use today in technology and the science of growing. So
yeah, but we're forgetting one thing too, and they're also losing a lot of their people. You know,
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
their
the thing, right?
a lot of their quality growers, quality rollers, you know, the people who created these blends in the past have all left a communist regime and gone on to, you know, other countries. Now,
exactly.
15 years ago, Don Pepin and his son Jaime were working in a car wash, just happy to get across the border into America. Now Don Pepin is making amongst the greatest cigars in the entire
cigars.
Industry.
Yes.
And he's not just making them for himself, he's making them for other people. So, you know, God bless America. God bless the opportunities we have here.
Absolutely.
No, without a doubt.
One of our newbies, Ivan, Nick, he's asking because he's learning. He tunes in every week to learn what's going on because he's really a newbie, like last month. What is the most popular cigar you sell?
So the Alma Fuerte 601 and 602, they are hexagon-shaped cigars. We make one with a Habano seed, and we make one with a Colorado Claro wrapper. Those are our number 1 and number 2 cigars, and they make up about, I would say they make up about 45% of all of our sales company-wide. So if you are a newbie, I recommend that if you get a chance, go out and pick up the 601. Which is a mild to medium bodied cigar with a lot of nutty, pasty type character. And I don't think you can go wrong with that. So
yeah, no,
welcome to the cigar community. Welcome.
Yeah.
He's definitely his first time on. He won the big prize first show,
great.
and I think we hook, line, and sink them in. There you go. He hasn't missed the show yet.
That's great. Yeah.
Speaking of the prize, let me get the hashtag out to everyone because
they're asking you. You're being a bad boy, Kyle.
We're talking. We're having a good time here. You know, we can't be bothered by hashtags, but there you go. Tonight's hashtag is hashtag Plasencia. You know, really complicated. So we're doing that, and then obviously
make sure you spell it correctly.
Oh yeah.
Keep it up there for a little while. Everybody, hurry up! Copy it.
But yeah, this is for the Facebook and YouTube as usual, and then you got to stay on for the rest of the show to get the raffle prize at the end. So, you know, make sure you get that going.
Guys, I would be happy to donate a 6-pack of the best cigars that we make to whoever the winner is.
Wow.
At the end of the show.
Yeah,
that's going to be the hashtag. There you go. Plasencia Cigars, guys.
Yeah, at the end of the show, just
I'll get you that information.
Get me his information. I'd be happy to send
winners right away.
Bob is the consummate loser in that sweepstake, but that's okay. You know, we love him anyway.
No, that's awesome. A 6-pack of the Plasencia. That's a beautiful package right there.
Which cigar do you think is the strongest in your line? Most full-bodied.
What you guys are smoking right now?
Okay.
The Fuego. That is a spice bomb. I can't smoke that cigar.
Nice spice on it.
Great.
Yeah, I can't smoke that cigar unless I've had dinner first. That is a spice bomb. Yeah.
Yeah, we love it.
I love it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a flavor bomb. Like
Absolutely.
You can't believe the retro again. And what's great about your cigars is with that retro, you really get a sense of the essence. And for a lot of folks who have never retrohaled, you know, they just haven't.
Well,
you need to be able. You're missing
the retrohale. You have to.
You really do, because that's where you're going to experience the nuances.
Oh yeah.
Guys, let's talk about that for a second, because I would guess that 75% of the cigar smoking population have no clue what you're talking about.
Right.
But the way we describe it at Plasencia is it's smoking. It's getting 2 cigars for the price of 1.
Right.
So if you guys want to describe what retrohaling is?
Sure. Go ahead, Bob. We'll give Bob the shot.
Well, it's very simple. You're actually bringing the smoke, obviously, into your mouth, but you're blowing it out through your nostrils.
Yeah.
And so you're getting all the notes that the cigar is giving you, the different your sense of smell is coming in besides just your palate, your taste.
Exactly.
And
all your taste buds are based on your nostrils, your nose, and everything.
Exactly.
So what you're going to taste is what you're going to smell. So that's
like you're opening up a bouquet of flowers, and
Exactly.
this is like you're getting everything out of it.
Yeah.
So you get a sense of the tobacco taste from your mouth and then from your nose. Now, I just warn everybody: make sure it's a tiny puff. Don't make it a big puff.
Yeah, especially
if
it's your first
in the beginning. Absolutely.
And you are not inhaling it. You don't have to inhale it.
You're not inhaling at all.
No.
Remember, you're just pushing it out. You're basically just inhaling.
Keep your mouth
to
closed and push it out your nose. That's it.
Exactly. And keep it out, exactly. In your mouth and push it out through.
And you got to do it for a while to make that a habit.
It does take practice. It does take practice.
It does take practice. Absolutely.
Because some people think that they have to do a lot of different machinations. You really don't. You keep it simple and keep
your mouth shut and blow it out your nose. That's it.
Nicely said, Bob.
What are you getting done this one? Spaghetti and meatball, or what do you got?
Ronnie's taste buds.
Bolognese.
Actually, I got chicken marsala on this one. Some mushrooms, a little wine.
This is a nutty sensation. Really, there's just you get that nutmeg. And you feel like, Bob, I love when Bob describes it too, because he does it in a way that's elegant and eloquent. But I get that nuttiness right away. There's that.
But when you said it's spicy, it's not spicy like pepper.
Mm-hmm.
It's spicy in the sense that it's given me so many different notes.
Right.
Again, yes, a little bit of earth in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I got the earthiness, but I got I'm going to do it again.
It depends what you're pairing it with. He's pairing
I'm pairing it with Angel's Envy right now.
Oh, there you go.
We had a nice big dinner. I had a nice, a nice ribeye. So, I'm getting a little bit of like a cookie dough. I'm getting a little bit of cookie dough. I'm getting a little bit of the nutmeg.
Right. Yeah. For me, it's very baking spice forward. And maybe because
I'm getting bread too.
Yeah, there you go.
Getting some bread out of it.
There you go.
It's very interesting. There's so many different flavors going on, and my mouth is just salivating like crazy. Delicious.
And that's how you know you're smoking a quality cigar.
Yeah. Once you're salivating and almost drooling, you got a good fucking stick.
Yeah. So all of our palates, it's subjective. Everything's subjective. So for me, that's that's probably the boldest, most stout cigars that we smoke, that we sell. So I do enjoy it, but it's definitely after a large meal. So
and we had that.
That's exactly.
But I smoke very strong cigars in general. Mm-hmm. That's my palate. So this is delicious to me. I love it actually.
It's really it's great to work. It's great to work for this
caramel company. It's
great to work for this company and believe in every single cigar that you're putting out on the market. So
that's key. Right?
Yeah, it's really cool.
And I think what's really amazing, and when you're going from cigar to cigar in your line, each is going to have a unique experience. So you're never going to have the same experience twice from any cigar that you're smoking.
Unless you smoke the same cigar.
Unless you smoke the same.
These are consistent. You always have that same taste. Every cigar will be exactly the same.
Exactly.
And that's, again, a testament to an excellent blend.
Being the largest producer of tobacco in the world, imagine you work in a car parts warehouse and you want to take all the best parts and put them on a car,
right?
And build the best possible car. I feel like that's what we're doing at Plasencia. We have, the availability of the best tobacco in the world. And another something that's unusual is we have 100%. We're the only cigar company out there that has 100% complete control over our tobacco. And when I say that, I mean we're not purchasing any tobacco from anybody else. Like, we are growing all of our own tobacco, which means we have full control over it. Which also in turn means that if we purchase it, we don't know what the seller did with it. We have complete control over it. We have our eyes on it at all times,
and you don't know that crop either,
right?
You're buying basically in the blind, what somebody's telling you.
So when you're actually blending these, and I'm sure that you have the acreage and each of the lots designated, numbered. There must be a system in place. I always am amazed by, there has to be an amazing amount of bookkeeping for all of this, right? I mean, the paperwork involved as well, because it's not just growing the tobacco, it's then knowing, okay, the Palones, these are all from here, this is from there, and now you've got them all over the place, and somebody's got to make sure that that's correct. So you don't want to have things get screwed up.
16
you have?
So many I can't count. 16 to 20,000 people working for us, whether it be Nicaragua and Honduras. Yeah.
Wow.
Holy cow.
And then
that's amazing. That's incredible, Ivan. That's fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah,
I would have to say you're the biggest. I never heard those kind of numbers.
Absolutely, yeah. We're the biggest by far. I don't think there's anybody even close to us. So,
and again, having your own tobacco, which is you're selling to the other people. You're not buying from them. You're selling to them. So you have complete control of everything, which is amazing.
How often do you get to go to Nicaragua and visit the factory?
Usually twice a year.
That's it.
Usually twice a year. Yeah.
But he loves
it. They want him to sell. They don't want to hang out with them down there.
Ronnie said it right. Yeah, they do want us to sell, but hopefully, we just, our company, the United States side of our company is really small. I think right now we have about 18 employees, maybe 19. We just hired somebody recently, so maybe 19 employees. We actually just hired a marketing department, and we're really starting to build up to what we want to be, as far as we're a really young company, and on occasion, on occasion we make mistakes that hopefully we can correct right away, but we really are a small company compared to the rest of the cigar industry. So recently we just hired, with the first of the year, so not that recent, but we hired a marketing department, and we hired some veterans from within the cigar industry, as well as hiring a new CEO, Jim Young, who was the head of Davidoff North America for a long time.
Wow.
So, the Plasencias being farmers, it can be kind of tough to run all these different hectares of a farm and all these different factories. So they really wanted to put somebody in charge who has years of experience at probably one of the better, if not best, cigar companies out there, Davidoff Cigars. So Jim Young is taking the keys, and he's doing some really exceptional things here with our company. With our marketing department, they're in the process right now of developing tours down in Nicaragua. And eventually, I'd love to have you four guys come down and visit the facilities and do a tour and smoke some of our cigars.
Absolutely. Send us some tickets.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So eventually, once this, becomes a real thing where we're starting to do tours, I'd love to invite all four of you guys down and just take you on a VIP tour of our manufacturing facilities, as well as our farms and our rolling rooms and, our different barns, aging barns, and love to get you guys down there, because every time someone comes down to our farms, when they leave, we consider them an ambassador of the company.
Right.
So, and one of the great things that we do, and it might sound simple, but we ask everyone that comes down to visit our factory to plant a tree.
Oh.
And so, say you guys came back in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, you can always go back to that plot of land and say, hey, I planted this tree here. So,
that's pretty nice.
All the people that come down, we now, when you come down to visit us, you are now an ambassador of Plasencia Cigars.
That's
so
awesome.
good.
If you come back, you get to pull that plant and smoke it, or what?
It's a tree. It's a tree. It's a tree.
It's a tree.
Yeah.
It's a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it should be the plant.
Bob wants to plant a marijuana
I
tree.
didn't say that. Oh,
Yes, he does. I know Bob. And this way, when he goes, the problem with that is it's a weed and it'll infest everything. Bob, you can't plant those.
I know. I didn't say that though.
You were thinking,
Frank. He knew what you were thinking for sure. No question about it. We have a question by Chris Eden for you. How many countries are you in right now? Would you say?
Right now, how many countries are we selling our cigars in?
yes.
Yeah.
Or our farms?
Yeah.
Selling.
Definitely most of Europe. We're doing a little bit in Asia. As I said, we're only a 7-year-old company, so we're still finding our stride. But most countries in Europe, most duty-free airports throughout Europe, of course, Canada and America.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You're a new company, but you're very old.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well,
It's
what
like
you've done in the 7 years, Ivan, is absolutely stunning. It's amazing how quickly you've grown. You've been there several years. You guys are doing it right. I mean, you're bringing in quality people who know what's going on.
Yeah.
And when you surround yourself with quality people who know, that's how you build.
Yeah. I'll be with this company 4 years in April, and it's been great. It's really been great because I started off with they had opened up about 29 accounts before I had arrived, and I grew that to 110. So
good for
you're the man.
Yeah. So my territory is all the states that surround Lake Michigan. And it was kind of funny because, a lot of people didn't know who my cigars were. And so I'd walk into a brand new cigar shop that had never heard of Plasencia and been like, hey, I'm with Plasencia Cigars. Here's a couple of sticks. Here's our prices. And they'd be like, I've never heard of your cigars before. Like, whatever. Don't call me. I'll call you.
That's
and then
a newbie.
Yeah, and then I get a call a couple of weeks later. Oh, hey, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to visit my shop. You're in a really bad mood that day, so I want to apologize to you. What do you account next? I'd love to open up an account with you guys.
Now, on your webpage, do you have a place for a store locator?
There is a store locator on the webpage.
Okay, great.
Okay,
when you get onto the landing page, I
think they're in every store.
Well, they're not in everyone, but they're in a lot.
I don't know. Every place I've gone in, they have them.
Yeah.
Well, you were in another company prior, and you were
I worked for Oliva Cigars. Yeah.
Okay, and it wasn't going there, but
sure. No, I was happy with my time there. I learned a lot about the industry, and I worked with some really great people. And Oliva makes really fine cigars. But at the end of the day, when this position opened up my territory and knowing about the history of Plasencia, I really wanted to be part of it. I really felt like if I could get in, I'd be on the. So I enjoyed all my time at Oliva Cigars, and I wish the company nothing but success.
Yeah, no,
they make great cigars.
Yeah, they do make great
cigars.
Because
of the time with Oliva, everybody started knowing who you are. You made a good, you're a good rep. You got a great reputation. People respect you for that. So for you to go into a store, obviously, like these guys call you back and give you all those stories. Once they find out who you are and background in the company. And the quality of the cigar that it is, it sells itself. You just got to put the boots on the ground and introduce yourself and give them an opportunity. And a couple of times you got to go back for some. Some guys don't want to try give a new guy a chance, but no, I mean the history is amazing.
Well, I like to say to the cigar shop owners, like every cigar rep's going to come in there and say we have the best cigars in the industry, and I don't like to say that. I just like to say, why don't you smoke the cigar and you tell me? So
right,
9 times out of 10, it's a winning proposition. So
let the product talk. You don't have to do the talking.
Exactly. Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw your cigars, which is about 7 years ago. I had no idea who the hell you were. And I was told, try it and see if you like it. And I did. And of course I loved it. And it was like wow, where did these people come from? You know, I had never heard of them.
Right.
And then, of course, you read into it and you get the history and you say, wow, these people have been around for 150 years.
Yeah.
Where they been all this time, you know? But it's very interesting how the whole industry, how it evolved and how you people have just come, I don't know, in 7 years' time, really to the top shelf. You
Right.
went to an unknown to one of the best. And it's an incredible feat. It really is.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, they did try back in 2000. They did try the exact same thing, and they came out with one cigar as an organic cigar. But due to signing with a bad distribution company, it just never worked out. So
You
this
know,
is
and
actually,
the timing too was probably not great. 2000, it was like right at the, I'll call that kind of like the tail end of the boom.
Of the big boom,
The big boom, right?
the internet boom. The internet boom. Yeah.
The internet
Yeah,
boom
yeah.
and the cigar boom at that point. The cigar boom in the 90s, I mean, that really put cigars back on the map. And that's when we started. I mean, Bob started smoking much sooner because he's
I started in the 60s.
yeah,
But
I mean, but you know, I started smoking in the early 90s and went through that boom, and that's how I started. So yeah, I think the timing was right for when you did decide to actually, this is the time to do it.
yeah, let's show everybody what we're about.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've been smoking cigars for 35 years. My first cigar was at my local 7-Eleven, Macanudo Portofino, and those little tin tubes.
Right.
Yeah.
I had no clue what I was doing. I was actually inhaling them. Thankfully, those cigars were mild enough where it wasn't that big a deal. But yeah,
like a Virginia Slim, right?
well, it's a little bit. It's a little thicker than that. It's still a premium hand rolled cigar, but that was my first cigar. Yeah.
So
It's kind of
we've
funny.
got a couple of folks making some comments. We've got Chris Coulter saying, the Nestico is perhaps the most intriguing cigar that I've ever had for such a small vitola. It's amazing. Complexity, great flavor, and construction. Nothing else compares in that range.
There you go.
You know, you've got that, and you've got Nick Go saying, I'm noticing more Plasencia in Connecticut at the local brick and mortar. It's close to him now, and he's able to pick it up. I think it's important, obviously, to get the word out. If wherever you are, wherever you may be, wherever you live, if you don't see Plasencia on the shelf, to ask for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Really. So a little story, guys, about that Nestico that he had mentioned. So that the Nestico is a little Petit Corona that we make in our Reserva original line. And so that is the only certified organic cigar on the market. And, you know, some people might say, what do you mean certified organic? All cigars are just tobacco and glue, right? But with this cigar, Nestor Plasencia had noticed that different types of vegetables and restaurants that he really enjoyed. When he talked to the owners of the restaurants, they said that they grew them themselves and didn't purchase them from markets. And he noticed right away that there was a different taste. And you guys all know that.
Absolutely.
When you grow a tomato in your garden, and then go to your local grocery store and buy a tomato, it's two different things.
Different things. Totally.
The only thing,
and you compare it to a hothouse tomato.
No, you can't. But you know what? Yeah. What's interesting? Tomatoes here in Florida, you can't grow them because of the weather.
It's too hot.
And the soil. It's too hot, so you never have a tomato that tastes like a northern. I'll call it a Jersey tomato, which everybody loves that flavor. So
Nestor decided to run a course of action that was really unusual throughout the industry. And what he did was he worked with different scientists, some from the University of Colorado and other agricultural scientists. And what he wanted to do was he wanted to grow a natural pesticide. So the pesticides that we use for the Reserva original cigars is all natural. Okay, no chemicals involved. And I'm not a scientist, so I can't quote exactly, but I do know that they used different things that are found within nature, like essence of garlic and different types of natural chemicals to create the pesticides that grow that we use on the original tobacco. So it is the only cigar that can call itself a completely organic cigar. It's the only one on the market. So if you do I think it was Chris that said that he loved that cigar. If you do love it, now you have a story to tell your friends as to why it might taste better than other cigars.
Interesting. That's an
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
very
cool.
interesting.
I think
We're
I
getting a
picked
lot
up
of
on
questions about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of questions about kind of a price point. Obviously, each state's different, but what are you getting on a price point?
For that Nistico?
Yeah,
Or
let's
just
go with
cigars
that
in
one.
general. That's a $6 cigar before tax. It's probably a $5.50 cigar before taxes, whatever your regional taxes are. Here where Ronnie and I live, taxes are about 46%. So that ends up being about a $6.50 cigar. Florida, you guys are lucky in Florida because you guys in Pennsylvania are the only states in the union that do not have a cigar tax. So
Right.
Yeah.
you guys just have sales tax. We have a cigar tax here and a pretty high. I live in Cook County, Ronnie, and our sales.
Crook
Our
County.
sales,
Crook County.
Crook County. Our sales tax is 10.25%.
Whoa.
And that's nothing compared to New York.
Yeah, and New
Yeah.
York, they're at
Forget about it.
80% or
80%.
75%. I mean, they're up there, plus their sales tax. So yeah, it
crazy.
all depends on that. I mean, and that hurts. It's sad because that's what they're doing. I mean, and hopefully we'll see a change from
I
the
don't know about
FDA and things like that.
I don't know about that because again, it falls on states. And
I know.
let's face it, the goal is to. Unfortunately, we have to say the truth. The insurance companies are behind it. They want to make this at a price point that eventually nobody can afford. So that's how they're going to phase out smoking.
Right.
That's their concept. That's not going to work, though.
Well, Bob, it's funny you should say that because I was just in the gas station the other day filling up, and I ran in to grab a bottle of water, and as I was going to pay for it, the gentleman in front of me bought a pack of Marlboro Reds.
Oh,
and,
God.
I'm not a cigarette smoker, but when the guy at the register rang up $21, I'm like,
Gross.
Wow,
Pack of
for a pack of cigarettes.
in the city of Chicago. So I said to the guy, $21 for a pack of Marlboro Reds. He goes, I know it hurts.
Wow.
I smoked cigarettes in my youth, and I stopped when it reached $5.50 a carton. I said, "This is outrageous!" Wow, I can't believe for the.
Can you believe that? $21
No,
for a pack of Marlboro Reds. Yeah.
No, absurd.
Cigar you could buy.
Oh
for that
yeah,
money.
exactly. And not worry about it affecting your health.
Exactly.
I just don't understand how people have the money to buy cigarettes anymore. I mean, that's crazy.
It's
It's not even enjoyable. It's like a nervous habit to get it, and then you leave it. I mean, it's I don't
It's an
know.
addiction. That's the
It
problem.
is. It is.
Cigars are not, and that's the great thing about cigar smoking.
I don't know. I don't get a cigar every.
Well, you Jones all the time, Bob. I mean,
That's it. No, but that's the difference. Cigars relieve stress.
They do.
As opposed to cigarettes, I think
Cause
enhance.
stress.
They enhance stress. People are always. They seem a little agitated when they're smoking cigarettes. They're kind of antsy.
They think it's soothing their nervousness, but it's causing more. I think.
Exactly. Exactly.
Guys, I've been having a great time hanging out with you guys talking about cigars. We talked about that newbie earlier. I think his name was Chris.
Yes.
Hey, Chris, go find a nice cigar lounge go find a nice cigar shop with a lounge.
Yep.
Who was it? Was it
Nick. He's up in Connecticut,
Yes.
and he says a lot of his places have noticed that they are carrying your cigars. So that's
Nick, go find a local cigar lounge, and I can't tell you, you're never going to meet a nicer bunch of people from all different spectrums of life, whether they be factory workers or millionaires. So they're all just coming to hang out in one spot. You're going to make a lot of friends, and at the end of the day, you're also going to network too. So Vic, I really encourage you to find a nice, fun local cigar shop to hang out in. It's really, we talked about stress, going out and hanging out with people of similar mindsets. If it's not a similarity as far as politics or sports, at least you guys are all doing the same thing and enjoying a fine hand rolled cigar. So I really encourage you to do that.
Absolutely. And a lot of folks, and I know I do it, I'm smoking next to somebody and they're smoking something and I want them to try that. I'll go and pick up a cigar and say, hey, go pay for it and give it to them and say, hey, you need to try this.
Yeah.
And that's something that was done for me. Like, hey, try this cigar. You're going to love it. Because, hey,
and
there's
you know
so
something,
many.
Frank? I never seen an argument break out in a lounge.
Never.
It's rare.
You could
It's
be
very
sitting next to
rare.
the dog catcher and a brain surgeon, and
Absolutely.
everybody's going to go along. You know, it's like it don't matter.
You know, if we could only open up cigar shops in the Middle East, maybe we'd have some kind of harmony. Huh?
Yeah.
Maybe all the world leaders have to smoke cigars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just yesterday morning, I was hanging out in Margaritaville with Frank and Chris, who's listening, and we're in the pool, just hanging out, the three of us. Two other guys come in. One guy had a lousy Met hat, and I said, "Oh, Yankees," and that just started a conversation. And next thing we start talking, and he's a big cigar smoker. He's smoking this and that, and the whole conversation turned to cigars.
Yeah,
and it was pleasant. It really was.
And he actually went to the Plasencia farm
Oh,
on a tour.
Oh,
that's
He
great.
did with David Blanco. So
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
it was a military group of he's ex-military Marine. So it was just, that's the kind of thing you'll have. It's commonality. It's a common ground that we all stand on. And it's a wonderful.
And even if you go by yourself,
oh yeah,
within minutes you're talking to 10 people. Right?
Yeah.
It's just the way it is, you know. There's a
Absolutely.
camaraderie that I don't know. You can't explain it, really. It's like
Yeah, you just have to try it, Bob. You just have to witness it for yourself. I
Absolutely.
really encourage people to go ahead and do that. You know, it's really a fun experience. And
Mm-hmm.
before you know it, you decided to go smoke one cigar for an hour and 20 minutes. And then before you know it, 4 or 5 hours go by and you smoke 3 or 4 cigars and you wonder where the time has gone. You
Yeah.
wonder where the time has gone. So,
right.
yeah.
Let's Kyle, why don't you get that hashtag for this evening?
Hashtag. We're pulling it up here.
Everybody, make sure you get your hashtag in, because soon we're going to be doing the favorite part that you guys all like, besides the conversations. It's the freebie time for all of you.
It's time for people
Yeah.
to win stuff.
Trivia.
And people love to win
Raffle.
things.
Of course,
Yeah.
who doesn't?
Everyone likes free shit. As we found
Especially
out
when
on
they're great cigars. Perfect.
Yeah, there's nothing better than giving somebody, you know, like walking into a lounge and, you know, I don't like to give, I'm not allowed to give cigars to any customers or consumers in a cigar shop, you know, due to FDA
Right.
rules.
Right.
But
Yeah.
what I am allowed to do is I'm allowed to buy cigars for people. So, you know, and our company encourages us to do that. So if one of the cigar shop owners says, "Hey, that guy's a big spender," or "That guy's looking to try something new," I'll just pick out one of our cigars from the humidor, and I'll pay for it, and I'll just hand it over to that guy. And you know, when I get feedback like that was one of the most amazing cigars I ever smoked, it's, you know, it feels great. So
Absolutely does. But we're getting somebody new, I understand, to replace the people in the FDA. With the
really?
The new regime. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I think his name begins with a K. He's already been told.
But Chris Cutler said his local shops can't even keep them in stock. That's how quickly Plasencia is moving out, which is a testament to you, the company, and what you guys have done in 7 years to have a local brick and mortar place to move that many cigars. That is fantastic.
Well, we got to get the names so we can send more cigars to that brick and mortar.
Absolutely, yeah.
Chris Cutler, put down that local shop there, write it up so this way maybe Ivan could get hold of that rep or whoever works there.
Their order.
Increase the order a little bit.
I will call him tomorrow and take his order.
There you go, Chris Cutler. Put the name down on there so Ivan could reach out and get more cigars to you.
And we got Bruce asking, do you do events?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm actually doing 3 events next week in Michigan.
Michigan, that's Bruce. That's what he wants to know. That's where he lives.
Okay, yeah. So Bruce, I will be, you know, I don't know the exact stores, but they're all for Wild Bill's. If you go on Wild Bill's website, they'll be able to tell you which 3 stores I'll be at. I'll be there on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'd love to see you. Bruce, if you come into one of my events, you get a free cigar from me. So
nice.
There you go.
Just mention the Great Cigar and Pipe Show, and that will be your
absolutely.
because now everybody wants to become a Bruce.
Well,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you can't miss Bruce because he looks like Santa Claus, so you can't miss it.
I tell you what, I'll make you guys this promise. Anybody who comes to any one of my 3 events and mentions this show's name, I will definitely give you them 1 free cigar. So,
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go. Thank you for that.
Oh.
That's really nice of you. For
Yeah,
sure.
and so like I said, I don't know the exact shops that I'm going to be in, but I know that they're going to be in the suburbs of Detroit. Wild Bill's has like over 200 stores in all of Michigan, northern Indiana, and they're starting to venture into Ohio. So
200 stores.
Wow.
yeah.
There you go.
So underground in Fort Worth, by the way, Ivan. That's underground in Fort Worth is who you want to call. Nice little shop.
Mhm.
Very big into military personnel and first responders. Kyle and I were there, and right, Kyle, we had a good time there.
It was on our Texas tour about 2 years ago now, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ivan, you're being requested to go up to Wisconsin by Joshua. He wants to do some events with you.
I'd love to.
Where?
There you go. And then now Nick, the newbie, come to Connecticut.
I tell you what, I don't know if you guys follow Dave Portnoy and his One Bite Pizza reviews.
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh,
Apparently Dave Portnoy says that New Haven, Connecticut has the best pizza in the entire planet.
Wait. We got to talk about that. You know, you haven't gotten New York for a while, I guess.
Now we're going to start an argument.
we got to take Dave's pizza reviews with a grain of salt because
He gets paid for that.
he's out there.
Again, it's one bite.
He eats the whole slice. But listen, it's his palate, right? So he's
Exactly.
basing it on his palate.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have to, but he's done a great job with his
Barstool Soldiers. Yeah.
They do a great job.
So,
But,
Ivan, do you know Big Fella's Mobile Cigar Lounge by any chance?
Not familiar.
Kankakee. So Brian and Mike Joyner, 2 amazing brothers. They've got a mobile lounge that, you step in, you're going back into a speakeasy 1920s.
Cool.
He would like to know if you can set up some kind of event. He has your cigars, but obviously the people really are not familiar with it. Maybe you can hook up with them and try to work an event because they want to move your product.
And they're
Absolutely, I'd love to do something. I'd love to do something like that. Have them. You guys have my information. I just ask that they reach out to me and we could set something up.
Perfect.
There you go. They're listening. So Brian, Mike, definitely touch base with me and we'll make that happen for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ronnie, you have my full permission to give them my information.
Yeah, let's go for a little sponsor
sponsorship
break, and then
going
we'll
on.
come back and we'll finish up. We've got a great raffle at #Plasencia, and then when we come back, we also do our little stump the Chooch, which is no longer stump the Chooch because he's gotten kicked out.
In the years, it's hard to keep making that a habit,
When we come back, right after these words from our amazing sponsors.
Great cigars take time. The Fortaleza Y Libre story began in 2013 with the idea of starting a brand of cigars that would exemplify the strength and freedom that define America. Our premium cigar voyage for quality and taste led us to the Dominican Republic and the tobacco fields of Santiago and Tamboril. Tabacalera El Joyito would become a trusted partner, and in 2019, our smoking strong and living free journey was realized with the arrival to our shores of the Fuerte Libre Bodacious. Fast forward 5 years, 2024, Fuerte El Libre rebrands to Fortaleza Y Libre. Same meaning, strong and free. Our portfolio has grown to 6 core lines to satisfy the palates of cigar smokers worldwide. For more information, visit our website at fylcigars.com. Smoke strong, live free. Welcome to GTO Dominican Cigars, a boutique cigar company that artfully blends and creates some of the finest handmade puros from the Cibao Valley in the Dominican Republic. We are fourth-generation manufacturers and growers of tobacco with over 140 years of experience, offering a variety of styles, blends, and strengths. Mild, medium, medium plus, and full-bodied. We would truly consider it an honor for you to experience our cigars. Those who know smoke GTO.
Before you light your next cigar, be sure to check out Cigar Medics, the makers of the patent-approved humidimeter. The humidimeter is a tool designed to display the relative humidity inside your cigar. With this device, there's no more guessing. Simply insert the probes into the foot or cap of your cigar, and you can instantly know if your cigar is ready to be smoked. Buy now on cigarmedics.com and see site for other cigar accessories. With the humidimeter, you'll know when to hold them and know when to smoke them.
Years in the making, the Chief cigar was born, blended, boxed, and released to market on June 26, 2015. This cigar was developed by former fire chief, firefighter, cigar aficionado Ken Dorbecker, and has grown into a signature Firehouse cigar line. All engines respond. Including, of course, the Chief, a Nicaraguan Habano blend, Proby, a Connecticut Shade blend, All Hands, a Maduro Mexican San Andreas box press, and the brand new Fire Pole, a beautifully crafted San Andreas Habano barber pole. Join the Chief family and make us part of your humidor. R&A Treasures, out of Tampa Bay, Florida. The last of a legacy. The last of an inventory of Thomas Cristiano in a warehouse where everything is aged and well kept for all your pipe and smoking needs.
Counterfeited.
And we are back.
You didn't hear that.
Cuban counterfeiting. There's a lot of those.
That's the next topic.
Everybody hit the share button out there. Make sure you get your hashtags before we pull out the big prize tonight. That's for sure. Your website, Ivan, does that cover all flavors? People want to know, does it cover the flavors of each stick also?
It does, but it's not a Bible. Really, as I said earlier, flavors are subjective. So I really encourage people to try the different blends. You know? So what some people might think is full-bodied, other people might think is medium. You know, the cigars that Franco and Bob are smoking, I consider extremely full-bodied. They don't. So, you know, just try them. Just really go out there and try them. Yeah.
Exactly.
Everybody's palate is different. That's why we have so many cigars on the market.
Absolutely.
They appeal to everybody. Yeah.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So first things first, Ron, before we go to the hashtag, do we have any other prizes that we could give away? Because people love prizes and we do trivia on this show. And what do we got, Ron?
So tonight you're going to have a traveling glass ashtray, nice and small. It's in the box, and
Ronnie hasn't used it.
There you go. No, it's in the box. I haven't used it yet. You know, what can I say? So this way you can take that around everywhere, so you don't create a mess. And you're gonna have a nice, beautiful mug here, guys. There you go.
Nice,
we'll give you a nice little mug.
Very nice.
Very solid. It's in the box. You'll get this one. This one here is the show. But this one here. So you pick that up.
Perfect. I love it, Ron. Thank you very much for putting that out there.
Nice stuff.
First, let me ask you guys a couple of questions. So, Ivan, please feel free to answer if you think you know the answer to some of this bizarre trivia.
Just throw something.
Yeah,
out
throw
there.
throw a dumb answer like Ronnie does, or Kyle, or Bob,
Joey,
or Joe, or
no, Joey's on. He already hashtag. Chicken Joe's waiting to put something stupid on.
You haven't even questioned.
Well, you know, we're coming. What holiday is coming up?
Thanksgiving.
Well, I figured, you know what, a couple of little Thanksgiving trivia. So here you go.
That's it.
Which Native American friend to the settlers acted as an interpreter?
Pocahontas.
Ronnie was going to say Pocahontas.
Spitting Bull.
As an interpreter.
Spitting Bull would be good, but
As an interpreter?
as an interpreter.
Well, he was interpreting what from English? What
Well,
Indian language was that?
Well, I didn't ask the
Yeah,
Indian tribe.
Are we into Mayflower time?
Well, think about it. If it's an early settlers, we think Mayflower time. It's Squanto.
Squanto.
Squanto. S-Q-U-A-N-T-O. Squanto. Not Tonto. Some people are going to say Tonto from Roger. You know.
Yeah, but in Italian, it's Squanto. How much? How much?
So here's a good one. I think somebody may get this one. Okay. Black Friday is the biggest day of the year for what trade profession? What
Electronics
trade profession?
That's a good
Trade
one.
profession.
I mean, you would guess retailers, right?
I would imagine it's Amazon.
Yeah, this is a good one. I almost left. I almost shit in my pants because plumbers. They're probably getting a lot of calls for clogged drains.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the day after Thanksgiving.
Well, you know, Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving, so
I got two good ones here. I'm sorry, I got to read this out. Chad says exotic dancers, and Eduardo says the oldest trade, which we all know is prostitution. So let's go for that.
It depends on what city you live in.
But yeah, actually, Brett actually had plumber. I don't know if he said that or put it in after he heard you, but
plumber.
is that interesting? A plumber, yeah. Rooter, big time.
Oh,
Okay, so this one is for the audience, and they'll get that beautiful ashtray and mug.
And the mug. All right, this is it. Teresa, write this down.
So, when was the first Thanksgiving NFL game? What year?
Wow.
Ooh.
not Super Bowl, game. Just
Not
a game.
Just a game.
Just the game, yeah, the Turkey Day game,
Thanksgiving.
This is for you listeners.
which now has 3 games on Turkey Day.
1930. Oh, hold on. Let's go.
1958, 1934.
Hold on. Go back.
41.
Go back.
41.
Let's march at 58, 52,
Orlando Perez
34.
says 1920, and 1920 is the correct answer.
Oh, Orlando finally won. He's been complaining that he's a loser all this time. Oh, so he still is a loser, but tonight he wins.
Orlando's still driving a Model T.
But can you believe
Congratulations, Orlando. Finally.
1920.
Stop busting out balls about losing.
What were there? Probably like 4-6 NFL teams at that point.
I don't know.
There were.
I would guess 6. I would guess about 6.
Yeah, you got the Bears, the Giants, let's see, the Bears, the
Cardinals.
The Cardinals.
maybe.
Yes, I would say that.
I don't think the Packers were even there then.
The
in
Packers?
1920. Were the Packers there in 20? I don't know.
believe so.
It's a different question.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that
Back
was a
then,
nice
they
one.
weren't called the Chicago Bears either. Weren't they called like the Stanley Bears or
The
whatever?
Staleys, the Chicago
Staleys.
Staleys.
Staleys. The
Staleys.
Chicago Staleys. There you go.
They were
Ivan
the
knows
Steelers.
football. Yeah, Ivan knows his football.
Wow.
And they
Yeah,
even played at Wrigley Field for a time before they got their home at Soldier Field.
Yeah, makes sense.
1920. Wow.
Yeah, 1920. I thought that was
And someone says Jefferson's versus the Lumberjacks.
the Jeffersons versus the Lumberjacks.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true. I really don't
That
know.
would be pretty cool. If it was.
There
I
was
didn't-
14 teams in 1920, according to John
wow.
Harper.
Wow, there were 14.
Wow.
All right. Okay.
Oh, and make sure, if you can rig that, Kyle, the hashtag, make sure you pass Orlando. He's already saying, oh, wouldn't it be funny if I can win the hashtag too? You know, it's just
everybody
never enough for him. It's
Make
never
sure you
enough.
have your hashtags in because we're going to do the drawing right now.
Well, hold on, guys. Before we do a drawing, can I throw my hat in the ring for
Sure.
a Trivial Pursuit question? And
Oh, yeah,
my prize is I'm going to be throwing in a hexagon-shaped Plasencia lighter.
Oh,
Okay, so you guys are going to give me the address for who the winner is, and I'm going to send them a lighter.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, which
All right.
So wait a minute, is that a separate one, a lighter and
separate.
a cigar?
Separate.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna have to. Can you read the comments on your side when we give a winner? Because
I can't.
Can't
Ron,
read.
You're going to have to pick the winner is. But here's the question: which active stadium has hosted the most NFL games ever?
Oh, wow!
All right, there he is. Hit the music.
Whoa!
Let's see who comes up.
Wow.
Hashtag no more prizes for Orlando.
Dallas.
Dallas. One we got Dallas. Green
Bay.
Incorrect.
The Alamo.
The Alamo. Oh, Joey.
Come on,
Of course. The Giants. Soldier Field.
Nope.
Giants.
Soldier Field is a no.
No.
New York. All right. Nick,
Think of the Midwest. It's in the Midwest.
The Dodgers. The Dodgers.
Orlando, Polo
Grounds.
Lombardi Stadium.
Redskins.
FedEx Field. Whoever that is.
It's in the Midwest, guys.
Minnesota?
No.
Green Bay?
No. The Raiders is not the Midwest.
No. MetLife?
No.
Kansas City?
Michelob?
I don't know what that is.
Guys, Google it.
St. Louis, Wrigley
Field.
That's correct.
Wrigley. Hold on. Wrigley Field. Steve McCabe.
Steve.
All right, Steve. You got a lighter coming. Steve, make sure you PM me your address so I can get that over to Ivan. Congratulations, Steve.
Nice.
Yeah,
He's a newbie kind of too. Very good. Welcome to watching the show. Nice.
They haven't hosted a game since the 70s, but they are still have hosted the most NFL football games ever.
Wow.
So,
That's interesting.
Wow.
One little
That is
fact.
interesting. Yeah, that's a pretty cool fact.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Get this last chance. Last chance. Get in your hashtag. Forget about the stadiums. No more, Tony. No more stadiums. Forget about it, guys. Forget about it. The stadium question is over. And it's still coming.
This is for the 6-pack now. This is for the 6-pack.
And this isn't a 6-pack on your chest. You know, like I want to see you do how many sit-ups or a 6-pack of beer.
All right, let's spin the wheel and good luck to everybody. And here we go.
And you got to be here.
Got to be it. Yep.
You got to say I'm here.
Yeah. Got to comment when your name is done. Brian
Joyner. Big cigar fellas. Big cigar fella mobile lounge. Congratulations, Brian.
The 6-pack. As long as he's still here. Are you still here?
Is he still here?
Oh, that's right. He's got to say hello. That's what
you got to say. I am here.
I am here.
Yeah. Let us know. Come on.
Got the countdown going. 10.
Countdown.
9.
Don't
8. 7.
Come on, Brian. Are you here?
6.
Brian, are you here? Did you leave?
5.
Four.
He's saying hello to everybody else. Congratulating him.
Hey, he's
there. He is.
Oh, Brian, you made it by that much.
You made it by the skin of your teeth.
Wow.
Nice. Congratulations, Brian. That's awesome.
Nice.
Oh, who's that?
Brian,
Gulino says F Brian Joyner with a smile. Oh God, Joey. You know. He's gonna beat the
Brian,
shit out of me.
Brian, you're in for a special treat because one of the things I didn't mention tonight was working for the company means that from time to time I can call down to the factory in Nicaragua and Honduras and have them make me a special cigar. So Brian's going to get some Lanceros coming his way. He's going to get an Almo Forte Lancero, and he's going to get a 149 Lancero.
Holy! Now that is special. Wow!
Nice.
And I happen to.
I'll see you in May. Make sure you hold one for me. Yeah?
That is beautiful.
That is nice. Thank you so much.
Very nice.
If you guys come to the trade show like you guys have been coming every year this year, I promise to get you guys some special stuff that is not available on the market. So
very nice.
We love to see you when you guys come.
All right.
You got to come to the to my show in Chicago, buddy. May 2nd and 3rd at the in the Rosemont.
Okay, is that the pipe show? Is that the pipe show?
And I'm going to have about 20 to 40 cigar companies also on the other side of the building.
Absolutely, yeah.
We'd love to have you, man.
More
Absolutely.
importantly, you should be down here in December for the Ybor City Cigar Festival that's going on.
Yeah.
Well, I am going to be in Miami on the 17th, on the 16th, 17th, and 18th for our end of the year sales meeting. So, but that's a little bit south of where you guys are at.
Yeah, you're about 4 hours from
Quite a
Tampa.
bit south. Yeah,
Yeah.
about 5 hours south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on your
Yeah.
schedule.
Well, you can drive north.
I'd love to.
I mean, we can't thank you enough for taking this time out to hang out with us and our audience, and for the prizes. And again, I'll see you more than those guys because we live next to each other. But,
well, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure being with you guys again. Hopefully, we'll do it again in the new year. And if I could just encourage your audience to, you don't have to smoke my cigar. Smoke any cigar out there. A rising tide raises all ships. Go out, find a local cigar shop you can hang out in, and enjoy yourself.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely.
Great advice.
No, for sure, man. Ivan, thank you, man. Thanks you
for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And yes, it's always great to have you, my friend. It really is. So from all of us to all of you guys, have a great week. And we'll see you next week right here, same place, same time.
Same time, and we're going to be doing the pairing next week. So we're going to be doing a pairing.
OEG pairing.
Yes.
So that will be a bottle to be given away to you guys.
Whistle Pig, and Don Doroteo. The Don Doroteo cigar, which is a wonderful cigar. We look forward to that pairing. So, folks, have a great rest of your week and weekend. We'll see you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Cheers.
Smoking, everyone. Be good.
Tell my brothers to line them up. We'll drink that whiskey from those old dirty cups. We'll toast to the present, the future, and the past. This ain't my first drink, but it ain't my last. This world is so beautiful. I see its love come shining through. This world is so beautiful. I feel its love come shining through. This world is so